Hey, it's Marlon Smith here. Hope you're doing great. Are you excited? It is the beginning of the second quarter, 2021. Where did this first quarter go, right? A lot has happened in these last 90 days. And so we're in 2021, ready to rock and roll and get things moving. And just want to welcome our international guests and welcome everyone throughout the United States who's tuning in. You can type in the chat box where you're watching from because we want you to know you're in the right place at the right time. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring Tony Jackson up. And Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Marlon, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Feeling really good, feeling very blessed. We have a very special guest that's coming up. And yeah, I mean, I'm just excited how, for me, relationships are everything. And, one of the things that I really celebrate is the fact that there's just so many great people. We've got Ruth Bell and Dr. Benita Harris here, and so again, Charlotte is in the house, in the lead. What other cities are watching? Type into the chat box where you're watching from. But I think really they add the spice of life, and so I'm just very grateful to be here.
Man, I hear you, man. I am too. It's just here's the thing, Marlon. This is what's really kind of on my mind. Really is that think about today is what? Today is April 1st. And April 1st is a really major day for a couple reasons, because of what we do. Obviously, this is Financial Literacy Month. And
Right.
so we're on the brink. We're on the first part of Financial Literacy Month. But then there's something that happened April 2nd of last year. And I wonder if anybody in the chat would know what happened April 1st of last year.
April 2nd.
April 2nd, excuse me, April 2nd of last year. I wonder if anybody out there has an inkling of maybe what happened on that day. And if you were with us on that day, do you remember? It's kind of interesting, right? So what do we got? What do we got? Man, we got somebody from Indiana. Let's see. We got Michigan in the house. But Marlon, what happened April 2nd, 2020?
April 2nd was our first TRMC virtual town hall.
That's it, man. That was our first one. And so here we are a whole year later. And man, it is just pretty awesome that we started out, we were just going to do a couple. We were just going to do one or two shows and that whole thing. And now here we are, and we're a year later and still going strong. Still, got great support from everyone. And so I'm just pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's a lot to be excited about, an idea whose time has come. And, we really launched this because of, March of 2020, the stock market, right? I mean, that's when the mandatory stay-at-home orders were taking place, and the stock market, the volatility, and people really were afraid. And so, we just said, hey, let's do something to be a blessing, to serve. And so we had our first kickoff TRMC, the Real Money Coach virtual town hall, and on April 2nd, 2020. And so 365 days later, we are here. And so it's amazing, again, when an idea whose time has come. And so we're grateful to have you here. Type in the chat box. Have you enjoyed this series? Yes or no? You know me, I like to just be cut to the chase, right? Have you enjoyed tuning in on Thursdays? And if you want to talk about, what has been one of your highlight shows, I like to hear that, this last year.
Oh, wow, that's good, Marlon.
What were some of the guests that you really enjoyed? Yeah, so that would be really cool.
Maybe put in your chat box, maybe one or two, maybe we'll let you stretch it to three, right? Of your guests that you have enjoyed on the Real Money Coach, man, town hall meeting over the last year. If you got a special one, put it in the chat box. Let us know who it is. And Marlon, wow, man, just think about it. A year later, and here we got a special guest tonight. We're doing some really wonderful things. And, coming up on, really April 24th, we're going to celebrate that with our first annual Wealth Summit. And Arlen, you want to tell them who exactly is going to be with us?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, many of you have talked about the fact that you enjoy Dr. George Fraser. So he'll be one of our speakers. We have had Megan Lynch on this show. Well, first of all, let me back up and let me give people their proper. Dr. George Fraser is the visionary founder of the Power Networking Conference, and Forbes magazine ranked his conference as one of the top 5 business conferences in the world. And so he's the visionary leader of that. So we'll have him on our show. We also have Megan Lynch, who was one of the founders of the first Black-owned Forex trading, training, blockchain companies in the world. So we're excited to have her. We also have Eugene Mitchell. Eugene Mitchell is a gentleman who was with New York Life Insurance and had a $50 billion challenge to help African Americans, people of color, get life insurance. $50 billion, and they achieved that goal. So he'll be one of our guests. And a dear friend of mine, our basically, what would you say, our anchor, our show-stopping inspirational will be none other than the man himself, Mr. Les Brown. And so it's going to be phenomenal. So again, April 24th, mark your calendar. It's a summit from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hopefully we'll be able to share, you can go to therealmoneycoach.com, click the events button, and you can go ahead and reserve your seat. Okay. This is going to be phenomenal, and we're encouraging everyone to, join us. And also, if you want more information, if you want the flyer, you can send an email to info@therealmoneycoach.com. But this is going to be so good, so good. And so look at that. I mean, right now people are saying Dr. Fraser, Eugene Mitchell, Coach Adams. Okay. So those were her 3 highlights. And look at this. I love it. And how each week, people always say, man, I enjoyed Dr. George Fraser. So many, including, the Gifted. Okay. And Dr. Fraser was a real hit. That's amazing.
CJ the Gifted, man, our own, man. We got to really, man, just kind of, I really do want to, since that's in the chat box, man. And Marlon, you and I are on stage every week, and we're doing our thing. But man, Chris is making this thing happen behind the scenes each and every week. It is absolutely awesome what he's doing. And so we want to just give a shout out to him. We're going to give him fair warning, right? We're going to give him fair warning, man. Let him know he's going to have to come from behind the camera this month, right? We're going to have to, at least every day, we got to bring him on stage and let him say hi to the people.
Exactly. And so as a recap, to this last year, would love, maybe Chris can show what he has created, as far as like the sizzle, if you're ready, Chris, let's show, because I think that's a great way before we bring up our kickoffs, really for our anniversary. If you think about it, our special guest, and Tony will introduce her, but maybe we could just show that quick sizzle. I think you guys will really enjoy it. I think it's going to bring back some memories of some of our guests of the past, and maybe Chris can go ahead and play that now. Wow. Did you enjoy that? What did you think about that?
Wow, man, that's pretty awesome, man, to see all those wonderful guests that we had on there. Man, what I want to know about, man, is what the young fella know about that music, man. What the young fella and CJ the Gifted know about that? What? That's back in our day. Marlon. All right, listen, we got some people have checked in from Fresno, California. Man, listen, Marlon, I think it's time, man. Yes. Let's get ready to bring on our special guest for this evening. You ready for that?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it. Drum roll, please.
Listen, her name is Tara Lynn Gray. And let me tell you, she is the Chief Executive Officer of the Fresno Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce in Fresno, California. And I'll tell you, ever since I met her, on a Zoom, months ago now, through your good friend, Marlon Carl Davis, and it's just like a kindred spirit, right? And so her accomplishments, man, are so great. Just if you go to their website, you guys, you got to go to the website. You got to go to the Fresno. You can Google this. You can go to Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce, or simply go to fmbcc.com, and you can look at her staff. You can look at her credentials, but her background in terms of chamber experience, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of encouraging businesses, is really just a life work. And she's not even done yet. So what we want to do is we want to bring on to the stage with us Miss Tara Lynn Gray.
There she is.
All right, now. How are you?
Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, it's so great to have you here. So great. Look at that smile. Boy, sunshine.
Yeah.
She's in the sunshine state.
Well, and see, like, man, right? She's out there in California, man. Their day is just ending, man. We're winding down, and it's just 5:30, not even quite 5:30 there. And so the work day, and I know how hard she works, man. I know how hard Tara works. So her work day, we're catching her at the end of the work day, but it's not even over yet. So, Tara, tell us a little bit about, well, let's do this first. Before we talk about the chamber, we want to know about you. Tell us a little bit about you, your family, what's your, kind of a little bit about your career. Just what can you share with us about who Tara really is?
Oh, thank you. Bless you. I'm just a regular old gal, trying to get some work done for my people and small businesses here in California. I am a Bay Area girl. I was born in Berkeley, California, raised in Richmond until my high school years. I went to Carmont High School in Belmont, California. My parents are from the Central Valley, Bakersfield, California. They are childhood sweethearts, and they love God, love each other, and love me. And I have just been blessed in my lifetime, and God put it on my heart a very long time ago, to help other people and to be in business and to be about entrepreneurship. And so I've really devoted my career. I got an undergraduate degree in business from St. Mary's College in Moraga, California, and done a lot of different things. I've worked for a housing authority. I've had a commodities brokerage license, and worked in finance for a while. I've had 2 businesses of my own. I've been a counselor for 2 Northern California SBDCs. I've been on a state chamber board for, I don't know, about 6 years. I've run youth entrepreneurship programs, economic development programs. So it's really, it's my heart. It's my life's work.
Wow.
That was awesome. The one thing that stood out to me, Marlon and Eric, she says, I've had 2 businesses of my own, and that really stood out to me, because sometimes when we're trying to help other businesses and we're trying to coach them, and, you talk about entrepreneurship, and even with the teens and young people, to have walked in those shoes says a lot, because sometimes we hear people say, well, you don't know what it's like to own a business. That's not you. You know what it's like. So what was that experience? Tell us a little bit about the businesses and what that experience was like for you.
So, small business owners put their lives, their entire lives, into their businesses. And I know that because I've walked that walk. And I've had both a very successful business and a not so successful business. And I have been through several economic good times and downturns, you know, from Y2K to the dot-com boom and bust, to the great downturn and depression of 2008. So I have seen a lot, and have done business in a lot of different clients and with a lot of different clients and in a lot of different environments. I've had large medical manufacturing facility as a client. I've had other healthcare organizations as a client. I have done transportation for the largest people moving U.S.-owned transportation company in the United States. So I have a breadth of experience. I've done work as a sub-tier contractor for a couple of federal agencies. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you know, the pressure to make payroll and the pressure to deliver on, you know, contract requirements and all of that, that's very, very real. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. There's a lot that goes into maintaining that business and keeping that business healthy.
Wow. So with that great experience of yours, tell me, what has this COVID experience been like? How would you, I mean, because, you know, we got the financial crisis of 2008, we got the tech bubble in the early 2000s, you got 9/11 in the early 2000s, you got the mortgage crisis in 2008. So how would you, as a leader in small business enterprises, particularly, you know, African-American owned, and we just don't want to say African-American owned, Black owned, because there's Jamaican American, there's a lot of different nationalities, but how would you compare what we've been through the last year to some of those things?
Wow, that's a big question. We've been through quite a bit. We had disparities for Black entrepreneurs. Our economic systems and institutions have not necessarily been fair and good to Black people over time. The history of our people in this country, we went from being currency to using currency. And so our relationship with money, yeah, I saw your face on that. Yeah. But it is the truth. Right? It is the truth. I mean, we were once, our people, our ancestors were once the assets on other people's books. And so our relationship with money has been one of being that currency to now knowing how to have, to hold, and to grow that currency in our own businesses. And that is a truth and a history that follows us. You add to that how we had to traverse the United States to find states and areas that were friendly to Black people, or less hostile, depending upon whether or not you're a person who sees the glass half empty or half full, right? So, you know, we developed really kind of nomadic tendencies. And so our relationship with money during those times as we were migrating from the South to the West and to the North, you know, our people did enough work to get enough money to make the next leg on the journey. And then we got someplace and we settled in and we huddled. And, you know, if that wasn't the final destination, we found the work. We did enough to make enough money to make it to the next location. And I think that history, combined with other histories, really has us in a position that our history with money is not really a legacy of gathering assets and being able to hold on to them and build generational wealth and to leave stuff to our kids and our kids' kids. And so we are fighting all of those things. Then when you add US policy on top of it, redlining and all of those other kinds of policies, right, that the United States government had at one time that excluded Black people, said that we were not welcome to participate in the programs that were meant to create the middle class. Home ownership. I mean, we talk about the GI program. I mean, there's a lot that we have been excluded from. So when folks look at us and say, hey, as a people, y'all don't have the wealth that one might think that we should have, it's because we have not been the beneficiaries of the programs that the United States has run to build that in other groups of people.
Sure. Listen, sure. Dr. Bonita Harris put in the chat, she put #facts. And I love how you broke some of that down, because you're exactly right. When you think about that, you know, when we were trying to scratch and buy our freedom, right? We just the be able to walk off a plantation and then know that in a snap, you could be right back there. And so we're already starting from in a subpar position. And now, and people don't realize, and a lot of times with, psychology and all those type of things, we go back and say, well, where's your childhood? Go back to these things. Well, if you start peeling this onion back for Black folk, you got to go a long way and understand that these, Dr. Akbar talks about the chains and images of psychological slavery that we're still dealing with, and it manifests itself in our money.
Yes. Wow. I don't want to go back, right, to some of the things in my childhood. I don't want to relive the moment that my family integrated a neighborhood and that I was one of 5 Black kids at my high school and walking down the street in a truck full of young white boys threw their empty McDonald's containers on me. I don't want to relive that. That's trauma I don't want to go back to. But what I do want to do is to be able to say, hey, that is real, and I need a space at this table where the goodies from this economy are being handed out in the form of programs, in the form of grants, in the form of economic opportunity. What I've been through buys me that seat at the table. And that's the place America has to come to now. No more backroom deals, no more exclusion of Black people. We deserve a seat at the table. We've paid for it.
Right. And so, Tara, let me ask you, in regards to that, one of the things that in so many ways, when you think about our grandparents and how they were able to really achieve a lot with so little, right? And I don't know, grandparents, didn't have the same opportunity as far as college and things of that nature. And so I'd like for you, because you have so many phenomenal programs. And again, today is the kickoff of Financial Literacy Month, right? And, you are very passionate, you and your team, about really making a difference. The programs on your website, the achievements, it's really stellar. And so talk to us about the importance of, economics, the importance of, good stewardship. Let our audience hear from you, somebody who's been on the front line, somebody that has been an advocate, for so many years. How important is this financial literacy? How important is financial legacy wealth? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Woo. Okay, my brother. See, you're talking to an undercover pastor here,
Hey,
and
listen.
you are dipping into my ministry. Okay, you know,
Carol,
when
Carol.
when I was getting my master's in theology, people were asking me, you know, are you gonna start a church? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, no, my church is in the marketplace. And really, what you were talking about in terms of the programs and what we are doing at Fresno Metro Black Chamber, to me, I see it as ministry. You know, someone that walked a long time before us said that we should be ministering to the distressed, the indebted, and discontented. And I think that we have, as folks in the lowest performing group of many of the economic indicators, Black folks fall in that group. And so it is my ministry, really, to talk about and to teach and to frankly disciple others into healthy businesses, into healthy business relationships, into healthy relationships with their own pocketbook. Into learning how not to let the flesh rule us and get that dress and that extra pair of shoes, because I am guilty as charged. But to really exercise some discipline and think about getting another piece of property. Think about buying a bond. Think about getting some stocks. Think about educating myself on options and learning how to use options to exponentially grow my wealth. Think about putting a little extra in that rainy day fund. And so it's those things that we are doing in our programs in Fresno. And we run the gamut. We've got a program that we call Friends. It's the Fresno Recently Incarcerated Entrepreneur Network and Discovery Strategies. And in that program, we work with folks that are re-entering after they have been incarcerated or otherwise systems impacted. Folks that our economy has thrown away traditionally, folks that have barriers to employment. We are looking at how do they create their own job through self-employment. I strongly believe that we have got to reclaim our Black men and women who have been disproportionately impacted by mass incarceration, and their legacies, their lives have been stolen, their families impacted, and that is frankly a natural resource to the Black community everywhere. And we have got to find a way to reclaim our brothers and sisters and to create economically out of what others might have discarded. So that's an example of, you know, what we are doing in Fresno. We've got our TRMC University that we are going to be starting, and we've got that kickoff coming. We have got a huge program. Let me tell you, we are doing something in Fresno that other folks are looking to do. We have a regional initiative called DRIVE. And DRIVE stands for Developing the Region's Inclusive, Vibrant Economy. And we have three major sectors that we are dealing with. We are doing economic development, we are developing human capital, and we are developing our neighborhoods. It is a 10-year initiative or plan, really. It's an investment plan, $4.3 billion over 10 years that we are investing in these three specific areas. And my organization is blessed to lead one of the work groups, which is betting big on small businesses owned by women and BIPOC. And we've received gracious funding from Central Valley Community Foundation, James Irvine Foundation, and others to support this program, which is really focused on providing the technical assistance and program supports necessary for our entrepreneurs to really thrive. Black people don't have a problem starting businesses, and we've learned this in Fresno. Our starts are actually higher. And when it comes to Black women start businesses at a much higher rate than our counterparts. About 53% at last count. And so we don't have a problem starting. We have a problem growing, sustaining, and getting to scale. And that is about capacity. And we have to focus on programs that build capacity, financial capacity, expertise capacity, technological capacity. And the path to do that is through technical assistance. And that's really the core of the services that we provide to our small businesses.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Wow. You know, before you mentioned the theological degree, I was about to say, you better go ahead and preach this thing tonight, right? You know how we do when we get together. So listen, that is really, really some awesome things. And one of the things I appreciate is your passion. And, you know, Marlon and I, we often talk about that this is our ministry, you know, financial education, financial literacy is our pulpit. I mean, that's you know, what we're called to do. That's our purpose. So I want to talk a little bit about, you know, we got a great event coming up. And we're very proud and very, very thankful and grateful that we're going to get a chance to work with the Fresno Chamber, the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce. And we got an event coming up. We're going to kick it off with Dr. Boyce Watkins. I know that we're finalizing some of the graphics and that type of thing. It's going to be on your site. People are going to be able to register for that. And that is going to be absolutely, I believe, and you can correct me, I believe that's going to be a free event. And it's going to take place on April 6th, and it's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So tell us a little bit how your feelings are about that kickoff event, and then we'll go into even explaining a little bit what we're going to be covering those 6 weeks following that.
Oh, well, I am so excited. We have the latitude. Our partners who have invested in our programs have given us the latitude to put forth the programs and the supports that will do many of the things that I talked about. And so it is really important to us that we have self-efficacy, and that the folks that we're serving that look like us see experts and you know, folks that are leading the way and providing solutions, that they can see themselves in those people. And so we are super excited about our partnership with you, Tony, and Marlon, and we'd be able to kick off with Dr. Boyce Watkins. I mean, we are hoping that it's a conversation where we could get real, get down, get funky, have a little bit of fun, talk about what we need to talk about. You know, part of what we do at the Chamber is say that there is no shame in coming forth and saying, hey, I don't know how to balance my books. I don't understand cash flow statements. I don't understand what the balance sheet is. I don't know what EBITDA is. It's okay. There's no shame in coming forth and saying that, because if you open your mouth, then we can provide the supports. We are launching a voucher program actually for our small businesses. Our businesses are going to be able, as a part of the Drive program, they are going to be able to get a voucher and take that voucher to a CPA and get a year's worth of accounting services from a CPA to get their books set up right. We're going to do the same thing for legal services. Our region is serious. Our drive funders are serious about moving the needle. We want to be able to say 10 years from now, we did that thing.
We did that. Well, that is simply amazing to be able to get a voucher and be able to go have, because one of the things when we teach some of the classes that we do on business is we talk about there are things that you can do yourself and there are things that you need to have an expert do. And when we start talking about your books, your taxes, and your legal stuff, don't play around with that. I mean, because that'll put you out of business in a hurry, right? And so I think that's so powerful that you guys are doing that. Now, for someone to take part in that type of program, do they need to be a member of your chamber, or tell us how that piece works?
So we're going to do a community-wide call, and folks will be able to participate in the program. But the folks that are members of the chamber, they get all the extra sprinkles, right? So if you're not a member, you can come have a cupcake, and we might give you a little bit of frosting, but the real goodies, the sprinkles, they come for the members. And so we provide extra technical assistance free to our members. And let's be real, it's really not about the membership paying for the services, because they really don't. It's really just having some skin in the game and making a commitment to the organization as the organization makes a commitment to you. And so we want it to be a two-way street from the very beginning. And so we like to have our businesses join. We have 3 levels of membership. We actually have members that are not in the Fresno metropolitan area. We even have members that are out of state who have wanted to participate and receive the information and access to services that we provide. We are specialists on the certifications and things in California. We enjoy great relationships with Department of General Services, the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, several banks. I mean, we have the SBDC network. So we have excellent partners. We have a local CDFI, Access Plus Capital, that we do quite a bit with. We have tremendous support from our community partners. The foundation that I mentioned earlier has a dedicated economic development specialist on their team that really provides extra capacity to our organization as we are rolling these programs out. So there's a lot to creating real economic mobility, and it's not something that you can just haphazardly do. It needs to be well thought out. Commitment needs to be made, and that starts with the commitment of membership. And our cheapest membership is $60 a year, and our small business membership is $250 a year if you pay for it at one time, $25 a month. Which is $300 a year if you decide that you want to pay for it monthly via credit card. And then, of course, we have corporate memberships that start at $1,200 and go to the tens of thousands. But we just trying to get it done.
That's awesome.
You're not trying; you are doing it. And just want to say thank you to you and your team. I think the thing is, as you really look about life, it's a journey, and as little kids, it's all about me, and then we grow. It's about, okay, I got to get mine, but then there comes a shift for some of us where we say, it's about making a positive difference. It's about creating a legacy. It's about making a difference in the world where people will be impacted by my presence, my life. And I just want to say thank you, Tara, because, you know, you work around the clock. You know, you're one of the busiest people. I'm watching the James Brown movie right now, right? And I'm like, man, James ain't got nothing on no Tara, okay? Going to this meeting, that meeting, and so I want to say thank you, for just who you are and what you represent. And it's really a pleasure, as I was saying earlier in the opening about relationships. And, as Tony said, we met through my dear friend, Carl Davis Jr. And, Carl is somebody who I truly, truly respect, somebody, just as my brother, really. And, and for us to meet you and your team, it's just been really wonderful. And now, boom, there's some synergy. Now we're doing some things together. And being a man of faith, I give God all the honor, all the glory. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, wow, thank you, God. How did this even happen? How are we even on a virtual TRMC, show, and we're dealing, interacting with Tara Lynn Gray right now? I mean, you just have to kind of really be grateful. And I'd like for you just to talk about, the importance of having that attitude of gratitude. I would say that, being grateful is really the ultimate. Gratitude is the ultimate wealth. That's how I really look at it. When you're grateful for what you do have, I mean, I get it. There's more for us to strive for, and grateful. The fact that I have, a sound mind, the fact that I have loving relationships in my life, the fact that I have, some funds that, my children, are not going to go to bed starving, right? I have a roof over my head, when you're grateful. So would you share, your perspective on that, as far as having that attitude of gratitude?
Wow. Yes. I was blessed to have to be born with a sunny disposition, as my mother would say. And she said I was a happy child. And of course, I attribute that to the tremendous love that she poured into me. But I have always really kind of looked at life with eyes of gratitude. Of course, there are difficult times where, you can have some, why me moments, but really, I am very grateful. And when I think about being grateful, I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my husband. I am grateful for the tremendous professional relationships that I have had in my life. You mentioned relationships earlier, and my pastor at Abundant Life Worship Center here in Vallejo said to me and to others in our leadership training that there were 3 relationships that we should always strive to have. We should have a Barnabas relationship, we should have a Timothy relationship, and we should have a Paul relationship. And so clearly, if you know your Bible stories, you need somebody who can pour into you. You need somebody you can pour into, and you need somebody who's going to co-labor with you. And this business, like so many other businesses, is about relationships, and it's building relationships with the people that you serve. When you are a servant leader, it is not about you. It is about a purpose that is greater than you and what you want. And so I try to bring that heart of gratitude. And the other G I want to bring in here, if I may, is grace. We need to extend each other grace. The troubles that we have, the difficulty at home, the child who may not be doing what we want. We present at work and in the business environment with all of those things in our head and in our mind and weighing us down. And so when we interact with one another, we need to be in the practice of extending grace and just remembering that somebody else probably has it worse off than you do. And a simple and free gift that you can give is grace.
Grace.
Wow.
Grace. Amazing grace.
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Listen, I just want to recap real quick as we're approaching 9 o'clock is that we have a kickoff event with Dr. Boyce Watkins that's going to be 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 6th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's the flyer on the screen. You should be able to go to the Fresno Metro Black Chamber, fmbcc.com, and we should be able to have that information up here real soon for you guys where you can register for that. We're going to then follow up with a 6-week program dealing everything with financial psychology, budgeting, credit, loans. Then we're going to get into risk management, insurance, and retirement planning and all those types of things. And so that's going to be specifically for the folks who are in that metro area, or probably you can join it from anywhere. You'll have more information on their website of how you can register for that and all those good things. The other thing, I have to mention this because I saw the press release. I was so excited about you being appointed by the California governor. I know you can't talk about it. I know you haven't assumed the role yet, but I just want to say congratulations to you for being appointed by the governor for the small business advocate position there in California. And what was so wonderful for me is I read all those wonderful comments that people made about you in the press release. And I was like, man, I know her. That's my girl, right? That's Tara. And so I just want to just say congratulations. And perhaps when you get in that role and you get some things done, which I know that you will do because you are a go-getter, you'll have to come back when you can share some of the things that you guys are doing there. But in the meantime, listen, we got this Black Chamber event coming up with Boyce Watkins. Listen, we want to pack the house out for this. And, you know, our program is going to be, what I love about what we're doing in Fresno is we've done a lot of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but we're going to have an ongoing presence with some of the folks that come through where we're going to be spending a year with them. And we're going to be doing, and that seems to be a value of your chamber, is that we don't believe in the one and done. We believe in seeing that all the way through. And so I want to commend you for doing that part of it and saying, hey, listen, the Real Money Coach and the Fresno Black Chamber of Commerce, we're going to lock arms and we're going to do that for the next year. And we're going to make some wonderful things happen. And then by the time this is up, we'll be able to celebrate in person, right? And I want to come to your church. I want to hear the preaching, you know, I want to hear all that. So, you know, we're excited about that. And so just thank you for your, you know, trusting us to do that and us coming together. And I'm really excited about what's going to happen.
Thank you so much. It is such a blessing, and it is an honor to be appointed by the governor to that position. And I am just looking forward to bringing my experience and my contacts. And he is my governor, and I am looking forward to supporting him, supporting the small businesses of the state, doing everything that I can to help the businesses that have experienced tremendous tough year. And things aren't over. It's looking up with the vaccines, but things aren't over yet. So there's still quite a bit of work to be done. And thank you. I do want to give a shout out to my team, thinking about gratitude real quick, if I may. I just want to give a shout out to Shatira, who's always making it happen, Des, who comes with super creativity, Rick, who, man, give him something to create and he will do it. Monita, the new all-star on the team, and Kaya, who consistently brings it home. When I think about gratitude, my success is built on their hard work. They've been in the trenches with me, and there's nothing that I'm doing in Fresno that they haven't helped make possible. So I just want to give a big shout out to my team.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you so much.
we've had a chance to meet some of them, and they're really awesome. They're awesome. Sometimes people do that because it sounds like the politically correct thing to do, but I know I've met some of them, and they are an awesome group of people. But I'm going to tell you this too: as awesome they are, it's speed of the leader, speed of the game, right? And so, that's my last word for tonight, Marlon. Marlon, you want to?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tara. Thank you, Tony. Because you can see it's been another phenomenal broadcast, another phenomenal conversation. And when you really think about it, time is our most precious commodity. Once a second's gone, it's gone. And I think that's really, we value you, and we want to thank you. I just want to look at some of these comments. It says ministry without walls. Go ahead, Miss Gray. Thank you. You are awesome, Tara. I love this. And then, standing ovation. Yes, grace. I love the word grace. Okay, that came from Sandy. And Dr. Benita said, yes, grace. Another applause. And Dr. Benita Harris said, congratulations. Alice Martin said, really liked, we need to show grace. Thanks, Tara, for your exuberance and wisdom. And then Ruth Bell said, thank you, Tara, so much. Awesome information. And so what you see tonight has been really an awakening. It's been one of those where you just are reminded, gratitude, grace, right? And just being able to give grace to others, but also give grace to yourself. We're all a work in progress, and life is a journey. And so with that being said, we thank you. We will see you Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And that's going to be with Dr. Boyce Watkins. He's going to rock the house. And again, go to fmbcc.com for more information. You can always email info@therealmoneycoach.com, and we'll definitely put you in contact. But this has been another phenomenal show. And in closing, remember this.
Hey, Marlon, we're not quite ready to close yet, bro. We're not quite ready to close yet. I think we got a little, we got a little thing that Chris got for us. So let's see what Chris got for us. I think he's got a little something for us before we close. Chris,
Hello, my name is Lynn Gray, Chief Executive Officer of the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce and Chamber Foundation. For 20 years, through our signature events and programs, we have engaged, educated, and empowered Black businesses in California's Central Valley and beyond. We are committed to making a positive difference, and that's why we are so excited to have you participate in our upcoming financial wellness series, which launches on April 6th. As we all know, COVID-19 has impacted businesses, and we are responding by betting big on small businesses owned by Black people. We advance the interests of the Black business community by delivering value-added services and opportunities to our members and the community at large. In order to improve economic impact on small business owners and families, we are excited to engage with the Real Money Coach LLC, because their financial wellness series produces amazing results. This series will educate and empower you with strategies in achieving legacy wealth for you and your family. Don't just take my word. Let's hear from Tony Jackson and Marlon Smith of the Real Money Coach.
Hey, thank you, Tara. We really appreciate your leadership and your board's leadership, because now more than ever, we must teach and implement winning financial strategies and principles. Hey, listen, that's why we're so excited to be doing this 6-week financial wellness series that begins on Tuesday, April 13th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Listen, during this series, we're going to cover topics like financial psychology, budgeting, credit, loans, debt, insurance and estate planning, and then retirement planning. But listen, I have some really exciting news. On Tuesday, April 6th, we're going to have a kickoff event with the one and only national renowned Black economics guru, Dr. Boyce Watkins. Listen, that event is absolutely free. It is going to be on April 6th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Dr. Boyce Watkins will be our special guest. So we're looking forward to having you being a part of that. And listen, there's even more exciting benefits.
Yes, this is exciting. Thank you, Tony. Because in addition to all that Tony has shared, the special bonuses, even more, I know, it's amazing, right? Is number one, you're gonna receive the actual playbook, which is our course workbook, as well as you're gonna receive a very special ebook entitled Recession Proof Retirement. And there's a special VIP online community for you to share your experiences, get questions answered, as well as be celebrated. So I'm here to tell you this. This is gonna be a phenomenal financial wellness series. And why am I so confident? I'm confident because have you ever asked yourself the question, wow, how would my life be if I had only known back then what I know now? Listen, you can't change the past, but what we can do is improve the future by what we do today. And that's why we're inviting you to partner with us, to join this phenomenal program. Listen, Tara and her team at the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce are committed to doing phenomenal things. And so we are excited for you to partner with us. And so I would love for Tara to share some closing thoughts.
This is exciting. Feel free to reserve your seat on our Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce website today. And yes, absolutely share this financial wellness series with your family and friends. The special kickoff is on Tuesday, April 6th at 6 p.m. Pacific. Space is limited, so don't hesitate. Reserve your seat today. Go to fmbcc.com. Again, fmbcc.com to reserve your seat for financial wellness.